Шановні колеги,
Dear colleagues, we continue our working day, and I invite to the microphone Colonel Andriy Lysenko, official spokesperson of the Ministry of Defense on ATO issues. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. Please listen to the events in the ATO area in the east of Ukraine. From the very beginning, I would like to state that near Lugansk, the situation sharply improved. Yesterday, a dark time of the day, there were only 2 enemy shellings near Trokhizbenka and Novoalexandrivka. The enemies did not use heavy weaponry. To compare, the day before this, near Lugansk, there were 8 times more shellings and mortars and guns of the Russian occupational troops shelled our positions. Donetsk positions. The combat activities were only near Novhorodsk and Avdiivka. The enemies used opened fire from the eastern direction. Besides small arms, they used mortars and AIVs. During the last 24 hours near Donetsk, there were 4 enemy shellings and out of them 1 mortar shelling. Near Mariupol, during the last days, 2 hottest spots were Mariinka and Shirokinka. Thus, near Mariinka, almost all 24 hours, the fire had been opened, and besides small arms, the occupants used mortars. Near Shirokina, they used 122 millimeter machine guns and launched 20 shells. This sharp violation of Minsk agreements happened between around noon. Also near Granitna and Pavlopol, there were shellings. Near Mariupol, in total, there were 16 shellings, and out of them 3 from heavy weaponry. Near Donetsk and Mariupol, there were 2 flights of UAVs, of drones. During the last 24 hours, in result of combat activities, no perished servicemen in Ukrainian armed forces were killed, and only 4 servicemen were wounded. The enemy's losses: 2 killed and 2 wounded occupants. Also, the reconnaissance forces prove that near Stahanov, the artillerist officer from occupational troops who were drunk committed the road accident, and a civil woman was killed in course of that accident. And when the occupational so-called police arrived, that serviceman stated that he had immunity because he belongs to the armed forces of Russian Federation with permanent deployment in Ussurisk, 9,000 kilometers from Donbass. As for the framework agreement on disengagement approved by the Trilateral Contact Group near Zolota, the disengagement is implemented. The area is not demined. The checkpoint do not function because of counteraction of the militants. Petrivsky disengagement is implemented. The area is demined. Stanitsa Luhanska disengagement is implemented. Disengagement is not implemented because of continuous shellings. The last shelling was on October 6th after midnight. To monitor the situation, the drones of the OSCE were launched. The Security Service of Ukraine had detained Russian spy who planned to involve Ukrainian serviceman and to make him an informer of the main intelligence department of Russian Federation. Immediately upon a contact with the Russian spy, Ukrainian serviceman who was chosen as potential victim contacted to Ukrainian special services. That's all. Thank you. Would you like to ask questions? What will happen next to the local residents in the areas where troops are disengaged? Local people think that there will be another gray areas, and also there are fears that there might be continuous shellings. The disengagement means that both sides withdraw their human forces and equipment, and they never approach to each other. This is done under continuous monitoring of the OSCE and with involvement of the international forces and the GCCC group, and actually, in case of any danger, in case of any threat, the troops, Ukrainian troops will immediately come back within 1 or 2 hours. Actually, the disengagement is very heavily controlled on the one hand. On the other hand, when the troops are withdrawn, there is nobody who can open fire in this territory. And when the disengagement in Stanitsa Luganska will happen, and what do you think about statements of local bureaucrats who suggest that local people counteract to disengagement? The framework agreement signed on September 21st does not set specific date for disengagement. It only provides that the ceasefire should last at least for 7 days in some location. Then the SMM OSCE monitoring mission has to be informed to which position the troops and equipment would be withdrawn, and immediately the troops would be withdrawn after this. We are now waiting for ceasefire from the side of the militants. Thank you very much.
Шановні колеги, наступна подія о 13:00.
Dear colleagues, the next event will be at 1 o'clock sharp.